We're live here on the YouTube Rich Lieberman Media Pulse for Friday, June 14th. And I'm a little irritated, which par for the course. So, a few things. Bay Area radio. I got a comment the other day. Somebody saying, all you talk about is KNBR, KCBS. As if, what else is there to talk about? Bay Area radio. I've talked enough about FM, and FM really has become semi-useless. I've heard a few shows, they're okay. This Lamont and Tonelli, I guess they're reasonably funny. Haven't heard enough to comment one way or the other. So on the FM, we hardly have any kind of, characters. Sarah and Vinny, oh God. So I was referring mostly to AM radio. Yeah, AM terrestrial radio, where we used to have such great radio stations. I realize, don't hit me with, it's a different era, it's the internet. Da, 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 da. We used to have KGO. And when KSFO was legit, and we had a real functional KCBS where breaking news took place, you could always turn them on to get decent coverage and listen to interesting reporters who had experience and technique and who gave you really professional reporting, whether it was breaking news or non-breaking news. Anyway, we had some really interesting stations, and of course the old KGO. And I realize times have changed, but the radio that we have today, folks, don't lecture me about satellite radio. I've listened to satellite radio. It's not my cup of tea. If you have it in your car, I guess it's fine and perfect. And, you get some old stations that play 70s music and whatever, la, la, la. That's terrestrial or non-terrestrial radio, satellite radio. Fine. I fully endorse that. I'm talking about radio that you turn on, whether it's on your computer, whether or not you have an old clock radio, whatever, analog. We don't have any radio left. The little radio that we have, nobody listens to KNBR anymore. If there's a Giants game on, maybe, or a 49ers game. KCBS, I've said it a million times, it's a joke. I listen for satire. Really. KCBS. It's my way of laughing and satire, listening to people that are different every day, and traffic people that sound ridiculous, and other things that give me a guilty pleasure. So, of course, that's our radio today. And don't tell me about Bloomberg. I've already hit Bloomberg radio. If you're into business and you have, some device nearby and you want to listen about the stocks and all that, be my guest. I'm talking about functional, interesting radio. And you don't get that anymore. We've lost it. It's useless. So that's number one. Let's get that out of the way. And let's get something really trivial, but you've made it a point, some of us, about the fact your backdrop is gone. Oh, God, the world's going to end. My backdrop is gone, maybe temporarily, because it fell down. That's right. I had a background, a blue theatrical background, and it literally fell down. You want to make fun of me, you want to belittle me, you want to make a metaphorical statement and bemoan me and all that, make my day. So I'm back to this. And you know what? I'm happy to be back to this. I didn't have anything bad to say about the backdrop. It was cool, wonderful. But, a lot of you wanted me to do the monitor thing again. So I'm back to that by circumstance. Somebody, very gracious person, sponsored that backdrop. So it's, let's just say, in alteration mode. But the bigger point, Why would you give a damn about my background? Why would you care? I know. Trolls, that's what they do. They love it. It's their kind of their way of having some sort of jocular love, whatever love they get, because they ain't making. Larry King used to always say when he would get on his radio show a call from some moron who screamed, Baba Booey into the mic or something. Larry would say, Sir, let me guess. Are you alone? Are you alone? So Larry would say to trolls, Sir, are you alone? Who cares about my backdrop? I'm giving you information. Most of you come here for information. You want to know about what's going on in TV or radio, even though we don't have radio. We have useless radio crap. We have mollusculic, I made up a word, crapola. Breadcrumbs? Hell no. Alfalfa sprouts? Worse than that. Tofu? Worse than that. I know tofu is supposed to be good for you and all that. Wonderful. Tofu should not be going into you. Perhaps coming out of you, but not going into you. So, get off the thing about my backdrop. You wanna do something about my backdrop, then contribute. I like my backdrop, whether it's a blue curtain, whether it's the TV monitor in the back, whether it's my bed or my uneven shelves. If that's all you're concentrating on, sir, madam, you need a life. I am so irritated. This shit that we care about that we shouldn't care about. We got stuff going on in the world, and you're going to care about whether or not I have a backdrop. That is positively ridiculous. And yes, I got my hair shaved, or whatever hair I have, my head shaved. We're going to make a comment about that. And I look like Yul Brynner and Shrek and all. Oh, isn't that funny? Ha ha. Ha ha funny. Like I amuse you funny. My goodness gracious. And my lighting. Let's comment on my lighting. Let's comment on this. And those of you, by the way, interns at KNBR, is that what they're making you do again? Send me love letters. And I know it's you guys. I understand. A bunch of little white guys in their early 20s, late teens, who substitute as producers, interns, Uber drivers. I get all that. That's what our radio is now. That's what our radio is. And KCBS, in the middle of the night, they've got guys who literally sound as if, and I say literally, that's the most overused word in the world. It means literally is that it's actually happening. It actually is. So when you say literally, that means, and I was going to say, literally, there's a guy on the radio on KCBS in the middle of the night, ostensibly an anchor named Guinness, not the beer, who sounds as if he's talking with rocks in his mouth. Do that sensation, and you'll get what I mean about that guy. And then finally, Greg Papa. What the hell has happened to Greg Papa on the alleged sports radio station KNBR with it? He's got the giggle voice. I call it the gargle voice. It's inexplicable. Do you want to know something? This is a little bonus on the side. This very, very prominent advertiser, they're a legal company. I think it's Habas. So Papa gets this gig to do live spots and non-live for this legal organization. Guess what? He pronounces, or should I say, mispronounces their name all throughout the ad, the recorded ad. It's not Habas, as Papa says. It's Habas, not Hobbes, like Roy Hobbs. He mispronounces the name. And the dimwits at KNBR don't bother to tell Papa that it's not Habas law. It's Habas. if I'm an advertiser paying quite a bit of money, folks, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for advertising, at least have the professional courtesy to know how to pronounce my name that I'm paying thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Not Hobbes law, habis, habis law. We all make mistakes. On something like that, you can't afford to make a mistake because the advertiser is paying your station, and more importantly, in your case, you extra money to read the spot. Therefore, you must know how to pronounce the name of the advertiser. Wouldn't somebody tell Greg Papa that? Maybe, oddly, would not the advertiser, in this case, Habas law, tell Papa it's not Habas, it's Habas. God, dear Lord, the inmates are running the asylum. Okay. Finally, look, I've pointed this out many and many a times. There are millionaires, close to billionaires who have websites who ask for money. Some kind of a sneakish way for their legal defense fund. Wonder where that money goes to. In any event, folks, please contribute to my cause. There's a PayPal icon on the right side of the blog. I am a one-man operation. This is my staff right here. See these? That's my staff. I do all the legwork. I do everything here. Not saying I'm, the Taj Mahal, Mount Everest, Niagara Falls, name a wonder of the world. I do as best as I can. Some days are fantastic. Some days are good. Some days are Some days are really bad. Murphy's Law days, like I've had this week with my computer. And by the way, I got a comment from people. Oh, your computer. We don't care about your computer. Good. Then don't come here and watch. Because my computer, like a few else of you, it navigates my virtual world. It enables me to do shows like this. Aren't you glad you tuned in today? Because aren't I rosy and peachy? My point is, I mention things just like you mentioned to your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend or your mistress or your rabbi or your preacher, whatever. Occasionally, we all have bad days. So I tried to kind of nuance my bad week into a couple of things with regards to radio and television and personal misfortune. At the end of the day, another stupid cliche, but at the end of the day, does it affect my life? Not really. But it's been a hard week with the computer breakdown, my set collapsing, car issues, everything issues. So, yes, if you can contribute, so therefore I have the available means to get my computer fixed when there is a catastrophic meltdown on my network. Yes, please contribute. It'll do you well. And I will be able to give you more functional posts. But I think I've had, a couple of good days worth of posts. And we certainly, God willing, as I always say, will give you the latest breaking and non-breaking news events and scoops and opinions, analysis here on my 415 Media Rich Lieberman YouTube show. So thank you for those of you who always contribute, maybe have taken a vacation, some of you who are thinking about contributing. And you want the real deal, folks. It may not always be pleasant. There may not always be sunshine or massive amounts of marine layerisms. The marine layer. God, that drives me crazy. It's fog. It's fog, KCBS. The hell with your marine layer and June gloom. That's an LA phrase, folks. I love gloom. Or didn't you notice? I love fog. I love sunshine. It's summer. I don't like 85 and 95 and 105-degree heat. If you like that, move to Phoenix or go to the desert Southwest, which I guess is sort of Phoenixy. I love fog, but I don't like the marine layer, the marine layer. Okay, okay. That's enough for now.